And we're live.
Hey there, so I'm here at the Canadian Patriot Report. We're here talking to Stephen Garvey. So Stephen Garvey is the leader of the National Citizens Alliance, and we're doing this interview so he can give people a better idea of what the National Citizens Alliance is all about. So Stephen, so what is the National Citizens Alliance?
It's an alliance of concerned Canadian citizens across the country. Literally, we have members, supporters in every province and up in the territories, and it's about saving our country through major redirection of our country. We believe the country has been taken over by globalists, UN, globalist stringed people, parties, mainstream parties, and we don't agree with their agenda. So this is about a clear choice in this election and elections following that. But we encourage people to go look at our platform, our policies at nationalcitizensalliance.ca to learn more about our agenda.
Yeah, absolutely. And it seems like a lot of the people down there that I interviewed had absolutely no idea about what you were writing, no idea about anything. You know, and they're smearing you, calling you white nationalists, neo-Nazis, white supremacists. Do you guys identify it? Obviously, you're not neo-Nazis, but are you white nationalists?
Not at all. And there's something came up with that. Where was it? Someone was, it was actually your article, and we encourage people to look at the Canadian Patriots article. You completely debunked the argument that NCA is white nationalists. So look at his article. It's up on the National Citizens Alliance Facebook page. But yeah, we do not subscribe to that ideology. It's a very hateful, narrow ideology. We're about Canadian nationalism, Canadian populism. We're all about, as any member or supporter of NCA knows, we're all about the people and doing what is best for our people, serving our people, listening to our people. That's what NCA is about.
Awesome.
You know, we don't need to call ourselves a people's party because it's actions that matter. It's a substance, and you can see that in our platform.
There we go.
Right?
I like that. That sounds like a really good message, man. So, yeah, it seems like a lot of the negative press, they keep calling you guys Islamophobic and stuff like that, and point to your policy as, you know, creation of a white ethno state or anything like that. So, you guys definitely don't subscribe to that. And do you have very many non-white supporters and different people like that, people that support your movement? Would you be opposed to a multicultural Canada?
Not at all. Multiculturalism has been part of Canada for decades and decades, but what we're opposed to is the extremes of multiculturalism.
Okay.
Right? And the expansion and growth of ethnic enclaves which are dividing our country, the non-integration into our country. We believe fundamentally as a party that we should be protecting and enhancing our traditional identity, heritage, cultural norms, our traditional Canadian values, our way of life.
Absolutely. So you wouldn't have a problem with, say, like a Muslim coming here from Syria or anything like that, as long as they, you know, essentially, you know, didn't have extremist beliefs and, you know, embraced our culture.
Of course. And we actually, there was a lady who recently, she's a political asylum seeker from Saudi Arabia. And she actually joined NCA.
That's
The
awesome.
reason she joined NCA, because of our strong stance against radical extremism.
That's a really good stance.
And she lived it. And that's why she's supporting us and donating to our party.
Okay.
Praise on her for having the, you know, but she lived it, so she knows. And she praises us for taking a strong stance, as we should, against radical extremism.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a fair.
Just so you know that. We're open to all Canadians, but we don't want people in the party who don't respect our fundamental beliefs, the direction of the party, who are here all about themselves, not integrating, sending all their money back to their home country.
Yeah, so
We don't want those type of people in our party.
You want to put Canadian interests first.
This is all about the Canadian people, our
Absolutely.
country, and that's what NCA is. And people are seeing that through our action. We don't do sound bites. We don't do these mindless tweets and manipulate people. We have very substantive policy. We encourage people to go look at them, compare them to the mainstream parties. Make up your own mind.
So are you totally opposed to foreign aid when you say like no helping other nations, or are you?
We're not totally opposed to foreign aid. We think it needs to be reined back.
Okay.
It's out of control. From 2005 to 2015, as one example, 56.6 billion flowed out of the country just in foreign aid. This isn't including all the billions to the UN and its other associated entities. 56.6 billion gone.
Okay.
While there's over 250,000 Canadians struggling financially. There's 3,000 to 5,000 veterans on the street. There's endless unemployed. We believe it's up to 14% in our estimation. We want to rein back foreign aid by 75%. And whatever money we do give is going directly to people in need. Because I'm going to preface this. Do your research. In Afghanistan is one example. 2.37 billion flowed out of Canada between 2005 and 2015. And there was a U.S. report last year. Most of that money was wasted, gone into corruption. Your money gone into corruption. What about all the other billions? Where is it? This is all wrong. This is all wrong. We have so many Canadians here in need. They're desperate. They're on the verge of living on the street.
Absolutely, it's a system.
It's fiscal insanity what's going on.
I agree with that. Yeah, I definitely think that there's out of control government. So these do not seem at all like extreme beliefs like the Antifa members were peddling down there, like saying most of them that I talked to had no idea what your policies were, and they were going all off of a few news articles.
Yeah.
So I'd like to take a minute for you to basically just give you the opportunity to dispel any, like, have you been covered in any news articles, like some fake press or anything like that? Have they said any things about you that have been outright lies in the media?
Yes, they have. And we've been able to correct some of them. Like CBC, for the longest time, was saying I was a member of the World Coalition Against Islam.
Oh, so you never were?
I never was. And they actually retracted that, I think it was about a month ago. And just recently, as our supporters know, they were saying NCA is anti-immigrant party.
Yeah.
And we're not. So they retracted that. Now they call us the controversial party. Can you believe it? So it is what it is, but we're trying to hold them accountable. We encourage other people to do the same. But we should expect it to increase as we grow and gain support. There's going to be more resistance. So, but we're very determined. We have vision, leadership.
Absolutely.
And we're not going anywhere. And it's all founded in our platform, our policies, the people that support us.
Absolutely.
We're not going anywhere. We're taking our country back. We're redirecting it. We're getting it off this insane globalist direction, which is leading irrefutably to like a UN globalist village.
Absolutely. So what's the exact definition of a UN globalist village?
Well, it would be a mix of people from all over the world. There's no distinct identity, culture. There's no distinct values, cultural norms. You got a ruling autocracy.
Absolutely.
Controlling ruling bureaucrats, and then everyone is divided in this village and controlled.
From what I'm hearing, because people always say, "Oh, well, you're against all these other." To me, it sounds like you're more against the idea of people coming in, and not necessarily just people because of the color of their skin, but because of their political alliance that are let in because they, just have an open border policy and they're not screening people and saying, oh, well, here's a person, coming from Saudi Arabia or one of these countries, they're Islamic or whatever their religion is, right? Or whatever their race is. Okay, this person's a good person, they're a good fit for Canada. Let's let them in. You're saying that basically it would be more like a situation where people like this come in, and, and when I say people like this, I mean people that come in that are tied to foreign governments or different things like that, and you want to see less of that in the country. It's not a race thing. It's not a religious thing.
No. It's all about what's best for our people.
Absolutely.
So we support, as our members knows and supporters, we support a moratorium on immigration. We think it's out of control. It's harming most Canadians, economically, environmentally, socially.
Absolutely.
So that's a no end specific date, but this mess has to be looked at. We got to come up with real sharp solutions. But the bottom line after that, we support 50,000 or less. We've just proven through our research that Canada is growing naturally on its own. There's a declining population myth. We're actually growing naturally 294 new Canadians every day.
Wow, that's really good.
294 a day.
Wow.
So we want to rein this in, but what we're not against, it has nothing to do with religion, color of skin, or anything like that. What we're against is radical extremists.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we will do everything in our power to keep these criminal thugs out of our country.
Absolutely.
And I give you an example, like the Edmonton terrorist that came up from the U.S. under a Harper regime. He drove a truck and ended up knifing a cop. We want to keep these criminal thugs out of our country.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not an extreme belief at all. Yeah, it's crazy.
And some of these people happen to be Islamic, so be it. But they could be any other religion, right? So it doesn't matter. It's not religious based, right?
Absolutely.
So
it's a hell of a world that those people down there to rally want to create, where you're over here saying we don't want extremism of any variety, whatever the flavor of extremism, we don't want it. And then they call you an extremist for saying it.
Exactly. I'll give you another example. There's groups in Mississauga, Ontario, for example. They openly support Sharia. So we're questioning, why are they in our country? We don't want them in our country. Absolutely. Sharia has no place in Canada, so these type of people we would not let in our country. We would do everything in our power so they don't operate in our country. That's it. And what does that ideology have to do with who we are as a country?
No, absolutely.
They shouldn't be here,
yes.
right? So this is a good example of the insanity of the immigration we have.
Guys, cut it off. You gotta have to go somewhere else.
Why?
That's it.
Okay, let's just cut it off there.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir.